Starting soon. Welcome in, guys. Today is Friday, and it's magical. That transition always is delayed, but that's okay. I'm trying to get my chatbot working, and it is not cooperating. This is what happened yesterday, too. So it's like I could only read one of the chats at a time. This is just me venting to you all who just popped in early. Which, hello! Welcome in. I saw Go West. We had Tom, Hollow Hill, Garnican. Welcome, friends. Happy Friday. So, yeah, I've been working on a lot of graphics to really take the stream to a more immersive experience. Happy to share that progress with you. If you have to go, you have to go. I totally understand. Really hoping I can get my chatbot up and running. That way I can talk to anyone that pops in on YouTube, as well as Twitch. So bear with me as I restart it. I can tell it's going to be difficult. So in the meantime, do you guys want to play right now? Or I can work on some stuff. Usually it takes a couple minutes for people to funnel in, but those of you here first, like if you would like to, I don't know, just play around, role play, be characters. It's always fun. Unfortunate that this is still not working though. I think I have to maybe Alt F for it. My computer probably, to be honest. A lot of things are freezing right now, which is not a good sign. That's what you get for trying to make an interactive experience after. So Google Chrome does seem to be one of the prime suspects here. Just here to play in the chat and listen? Sounds great. Thank you, Go West. I appreciate it very much. Immersive Hal, can't see your beautiful face. You know, I've been debating on bringing the camera back out, but I like my little guy here. Like, he'll catch some dice to the face. That alone made it worth it to me. Alright, I'm going to close my voice changer because that's taken up of my bandwidth. And right now we need every frame we can get. It looks like Krita is also taking up a lot of space. So I'll close that too. Get good computer, right? I need to get a good computer. Ironically, I'm using 3 computers right now. One to stream, one to overlay a player's perspective for the game, and then my main computer, which I have my hand on the mouse at all times. Okay, we're going to try restarting the chatbot again. Please work, I beg of you. He's been working fine, like the earlier part of the week. Welcome anybody from YouTube. It does seem like YouTube is also having some problems. Okay. So I'm going to put some characters on the field and we're going to just have like a little mock battle. If you can't join, that is quite all right. I'm just kind of testing some things as they happen. And the more I can test, the more I can fix. So it helps. And I added Sorcerer, Druid, and Fighter recently. Here we'll use Garnican Sorcerer. I'll let you guys beat up this monster here. Yeah, don't die, please. But as for my chatbot, it has been breaking the last 2 days now, and that is very frustrating because that's like what it's one of those things where it's like you never expect it to not work, and it's how I communicate with both platforms at the same time. But I'll try my best to monitor what those individuals over on that other platformer are saying. Okay. So, let's take it from the top, shall we? If anybody wants to play, I'm gonna make a keyword appear on screen. And even if it's just me that can play, no problems there. Doing some tests. Like, I really want to make sure this is like a streamlined process. Okay, we got Garnick and we got Tom. So, Garnick, your character is player 1. You're a sorcerer, so I'll just pick you manually. And this is a good way to test it, too. And you'll be player 1, class sorcerer. And then we have our players, other players. So player 2 is going to be me. And player 3 will be Tom. So Tom, I'm going to give you the character here on screen. It's a easy fighter. Like, fighters are arguably the easiest class to play, so you won't have to handle too much in terms of mechanics. Okay, and then to hide that, we'll do entry off. Oh yeah, and then your voice should kick in. Okay, so I did not see your voice. I'll restart my chat voice bot. So these things that break, like, I rewatched these streams, especially this week. And so I'll be taking a lot of notes next week as to like how to check how like these things before I go live. Because right now, the fact that these things are breaking is frustrating, to say the least. Voice test. Oh, I just restarted it, so maybe it'll work now. No, I don't see any audio coming through. Maybe I have to restart this. Did I delete it on accident? Yeah, I think I deleted it on accident. It's an easy fix. It's just annoying to fix this. So I'll put it on screen while I'm fixing it. But I might have deleted on accident. I've been reorganizing my my sources here in my streaming software. And now it just looks like a rainbow. So hopefully I'll get used to like what the colors mean, what they represent. So we're adding audio input. And so this is what I was using before, but they're not showing up in my settings now. So it's using cable A and auxiliary 4. So they were supposed to be here so that I could send things to them. But I think I need to add another source. We'll do audio input, and we're going to make money sign, which is like my audio sign. Yo, what's up, Kay? Welcome in. This will be audio in 1. So I have been trying to make a more efficient system for audio, and instead of being efficient, it's just gotten convoluted. And it looks like all of my audio inputs are missing. So if I were to just show you real quick what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for, is output device, voice meter in 1. And I know this probably doesn't make any sense, but me talking through it might interest someone out there. But also, I'm trying to fix it. Like I'm troubleshooting it by talking out loud. We've gone to stadium version. Oh, is it echoing? Uh-oh. Is it still echoing? I did leave that setting. Echo! Oh, it's right here. Okay. Alright, thank you for mentioning the echo. Are you telling me you didn't like it? You telling me you didn't like it? Okay, so this is what I was looking for, and the fact that it is missing is a very bad sign. So is it not active? Oh.
No, we just wanted you to know.
Alright, I think we fixed it, guys. So basically, the group folder prevented me from hearing it.
The more D0 RKS, the better beaming face with smiling eyes.
Alright, thank you for your patience and your compliments. It really helps my ego.
Oh, mine works now.
And if you don't like that voice, Garnican, because this is a custom character for you, just let me know. But I think you have Bateman, like Christian Bateman? I don't know. What's his name? I think Bateman was the character, Patrick Bateman.
Okay.
So that's your voice.
So no smiling while playing.
Yeah, no smiling allowed. Hey, Go West, if you want the SpongeBob SquarePants voice, you can have it. I do have that voice. Alright, let's go back to the player camera. So we'll do a quick test, like a mock battle. So I'll go ahead and roll initiative for everybody.
One D20 plus 1 equals 20.
Oh, not this again.
1 D20 plus 2 equals 4.
How do I mute myself on YouTube? Damn it.
1 D20 plus...
Okay, I'm muting my character for this duration. Don't let me forget. Okay, this character doesn't do anything. He's just going to pass all of his turns. But to start our combat, going through the motions here, we have player 3. Player 3, action bar. Okay, so I have to update this. Just do SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, says Finster Yoshi. I mean, that would be a fun D&D campaign, let's be real. Didn't they have a SpongeBob Dungeons & Dragons episode? Alright, so what you see on screen, do not concern yourself with. I am about to delete all of that and replace it with the new interface. So the way this works is these are placeholder images that I will simply remove. So delete. And then paste the only ones we need as we go. So if you're level 1 as a fighter, that's what's going to be on screen. So this is Tom's interface. Now I know it's somewhat small. I may improve the size of it depending on feedback. So if you guys can't read it that well, just let me know. Right now it's a reasonable size for scalability. So I'm thinking like 5 years into the future where I'll need the full bottom screen. Anyway, this is what you can do, Tom, as your character. Now I will handle movement as well as any type of environmental interaction as well as description. What you would do on your turn is kind of like describe what your character wants to do. So let's say your character charges into battle. So you would have some sort of dialogue that you type out, and it's like you acting as your character. So just to give you an example, quote unquote, I will charge into battle and swing with my great sword. Or you could say, I take a couple steps back and I shoot with my crossbow. And yes, thank you, Garnikin. That is basically a pop-up that I'm going to provide. And here's what it looks like at the moment. I actually made another improv. You'll notice, or another pop-up, I should say. You'll notice on the abilities, greatsword, crossbow, second wind, they have colors and icons. Those are meant to be somewhat simplified, but it gives you an idea of what that ability will do. I didn't export the pop-up, and right now the software's closed, so I'm not going to worry about it. Take cover!
I will take cover and use my crossbow from a safe place.
Okay. So our fighter locks and loads with her hand crossbow. Lets loose a bolt. It flies across the battlefield, impacting this sand creature. And he ends his turn. We come to player 2. Okay, so same deal here. This is usually when we pick our characters. I'll be basically deleting all of the placeholder images. And so this is player 2, which is me, so I'll just kind of narrate what I do. But I'll put that on screen. So I, as a druid, I'm not not going to type it out because my character's voicing everything, all the dice rolls. But I would target, and I would use my Thorn Whip. What Thorn Whip does is it moves the creature on a hit. So I can move the creature 5 feet towards us. But then I regret my decision immediately. It's the Anubian's turn. But he just kind of stands still. Alright, Sorcerer, it's your turn. So Sorcerer, same deal here. I'll go and delete the placeholders. And so I just set this up yesterday, so this is a great test for me. And then I'll add your action bar. Which it didn't show up. No! I'm gonna look at it real quick. Oh, I see why. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna at least... Damn, that didn't even fix it. No, I didn't set it up correctly for
I broke
player
it.
one. I didn't set it. I'll give you a temporary image though to help. But I tried to automate it, and the automation did not activate. But this is our band-aid solution for now. Damn it. That's okay. These things happen. But here are your abilities. Right now, for a level 1 sorcerer, you can cast Firebolt, Mind Sliver. Both of those are cantrips, so they're unlimited uses. And then your once per combat abilities are Chaos Bolt and Sleep. But yeah, I'll make a note for that. Probably try and fix it after this. Sadly, I have to go off screen, so maybe I won't fix it. But tell us what you'd like to do, now that you know your abilities. Some Firebolt. Huh, it didn't do your voice. Alright, so Firebolt on the sand creature. It arcs across the battlefield. I added more accurate images and audio now. You strike the sand creature for 7 points of fire damage. Comes back to our fighter. Okay, the only action bar that's not working is player 1 right now. So that's good to note. Hey, Antonio. I see you. Welcome in. They did technically have a D&D episode, that's right. My chat bot did not connect to YouTube, which is annoying. I'll keep an eye on it. And so, Tom's character, the fighter, will rush into battle, wielding their great axe. Oh, Tom's here. Did I say great axe?
I shoot another crossbow to the sand creature.
Very good. So letting loose a bolt. It sinks into the creature's flesh and then it just kind of falls slowly into the sand beneath it. Alright, my turn as the druid again. This time I'll use Entangle, so testing out one of the spells here. Try and wrap this sand creature up.
Or not.
To vines. Ooh, that's a sound. Oh no, you're good, Tom. If there's a delay, there might be a delay. I know YouTubers are having trouble every time we've been playing. It's been a couple. It's like almost a minute behind. But it doesn't seem to impose the sand creature, who this time will retaliate. It just sifts through the sand, approaches the druid, and it reaches out with these gnarly claws and slashes twice. Thankfully missing. Sorcerer, it's back to you. Use one of your powerful spells. Nope, that one's not updated either. Infest, ooh. Huh. I'm not sure why it's not registering your voice now. It was doing it before. I don't think I changed anything. Type something else. It's registering my voice. It's there. It is. What? I don't know, man.
Something else.
Like I just had to click it, and it was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get back to work. Okay, infestation. As you see beetles begin to climb up and throughout the sand, biting at the body of such a plastic-like creature. It doesn't seem affected. It succeeded on the saving throw, still taking half damage though. So fighter, it comes to you. The effect a little bit delayed there. Still fun though. And I can hear the effects in my ears. I don't know how loud it is for you all.
I will use my sword to slice the creature in half. Don't the desert creature.
Okay, stepping on to several divines, you get a leaping strike.
Join star.
You cleave into the beast. It sinks into the sand beneath. Combat has ended. So right now, these upgrades are still being worked on. But this gives you an idea of what they'll look like. So this is the roguelike element. Thanks, Kay. Sadly, I had to disable a lot of those commands. I literally removed them from my software. But I don't think they were the problem. I think I was troubleshooting. Also, for whatever reason, Player 3's chat bubble is not going away. Oh, you like that, Finster? Thank you. Tom, you broke my chat bot. That's okay. Tom, say something so you fix it. Please. Alright, we'll do a quick poll. Okay, so all you have to do to participate in the poll is type 1, 2, or 3. And this is for both YouTube and Twitch. Thank you, Tom. Who will get the upgrade? So the upgrade
Go away, chat bubble.
is going to be specific to your class. So that's why you can see your character is next to 1. My character is next to 2. And Tom's character is next to 3. So don't read the chat of those abilities. Those are placeholders. But that's what I want it to look like. So take in the appearance, like the user experience. That's what I'm kind of like troubleshooting this week. So user experience is like paramount right now. And then I can start fleshing it out better. And so with the winning option 3, because there was a tie, it picked one of the 2 randomly. Everything dissolves. And then we go back over to our sides. What took the most time was me moving the chat bubble secretly so that when your character portrait moves across stream, the chat bubble will follow. That took way too long. Anyway, I digress. You guys leveled up! Yay! Hooray! Yay! So let's go through the level up process just to show you how it feels. So I think you all gain your subclass now. So I'm gonna make sure you have your subclass, so it looks like player one's good to go. Ah, damn it. Okay, player one. Yeah, yours was broken. It's great to see things just break after you work on them for hours last night. It's like my favorite thing. Yeah, Finster, they tried hard, man. Sometimes it's all about the pressure. You make diamonds from pressure, you know? Okay, so that was player one's level up. Usually we would vote here. Well, Garnican, that was smart. That was very wise, simply because I think most of our games are going to be level 1. Like, without a doubt. Okay, and then let's say we did the poll. Obviously, there's nothing up on screen right now, but hopefully they'll pop up for this next character. So we're going to do Druid. There they are. Okay, so as the playing character at the moment, I can still type some things and they'll appear on screen. Ah, damn it, it's not moving. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna have a whole list of notes. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's just vote for fun. So we'd have 3 choices. You know, I would probably state my argument as to which one I want to play as. So, Circle of Spores, for example, and like I would do like a quick monologue here describing what you're looking at. So, Circle of Spores, that's when you deal with disease and fungal decay and use death as a weapon against the enemies of nature. As a druid, you still uphold the balance of life and death. And so the Circle of Spores leans more into the death side of things. Whereas Circle of the Land, you're a nature-loving hippie freak. Nothing wrong with that, of course. In fact, you dwell amongst the satyrs and fauns. You've made many furry friends, much like a Disney princess. Or you could be at the Circle of the Moon. And the moon, well, that's much like the werewolves of nature. You're a master shapeshifter. So, what do you choose? Oh, it looks like I didn't type the command. There it goes. And what's fun is if you're on YouTube and Twitch, you can actually vote twice. So I guess that's like incentive in a way. Oh, Antonio likes 3 as well. Incentive to watch both? I don't know. Support me? That's always nice, right? And so the way it works behind the scenes is once we pick the class, I would drag and drop into my action bar. So we can see my action bar up on screen right now. The only one I have edited is, it looks like spores. So just to demonstrate what this might look like, it would go into slot number 5. So we can see number 5, it just kind of appears there. And so I'm still building each one of these subclasses. It's taking way longer than I would like to, but I finally found a system that makes sense for me. So it is coming together. And so I have these new abilities based on my subclass. And then, let's see, did I add any other spells? Yes, I added one more. And so, easy as that, just drag and drop them into the folder. Whoops, I dragged the same one twice. And they overwrite each other, so it makes it easy to replace things as we progress. Sounds like cheating? Yes, well, it's my character, Finster. I'm building it. All right, and then we would continue. So those would dissolve, and then player 3's level up. So Tom's character also missing your options. It's like, oh, what do I choose? Half-Dark? Oh, man. Such great options. Oh, looks like I made them, though. Here they are. So you could be a Battle Master, an Eldritch Knight, or a Samurai. So, a Battle Master is more of like a utility character. So your attacks might distract the enemy. Oh, it looks like they all have the same description, ironic.
I did nothing.
You get nothing. You can have all of it, Tom. The world is yours. But even though they all say the exact same thing, they are different things. So Eldritch Knight is more like a wizard meets a fighter. So you begin to incorporate evocation and abjuration magic into your fighting style. Maybe throwing out like a firebolt as the target runs away, or casting the shield spell just in time before you're hit by an attack. Whereas a samurai focuses on deep breath and finding those moments of flow inside combat. So we would throw up the poll. Usually I'll like narrate that small monologue there, then throw up the poll. So ideally would probably want the VFX above it. Right now it is atop it. Or at least position it to where it's not in the way. But yeah, this is the user experience that I'm focusing on. So if you guys have feedback, especially visiting, having fresh eyes on it, really do appreciate any thoughts you might be willing to share. So it looks like we're going to go for the samurai. And so then I would drag and drop those actions onto your hotbar. Don't have them right now, but that would be the end of our level up section. And then we would go to the map. So that was our first combat. Generally, we'll probably start in a town. So like this combat, for example, maybe it was like on the city streets. Like you guys were dealing with thieves or cultists. And so then we would consult the map. So let me put it up on my screen. And so this is heavily inspired by Slay the Spire. I'll make a new one. Alright, so which of the 3 towns did we come from? So obviously 1, 2, and 3. This one, I should try to program it to where it just automatically puts the numbers on. Right now I'm manually doing it. Okay, so we're heading to 2. So I've marked it on the map. Or no, that's where we started, was at 2. So we're heading into the forest. Which I'll just pick one. Make things easier. Because it was 2 different forests. Okay, so we're heading into the jungle ruins. And at this point, we would also pick new characters. Or I should say, pick new chatters to play as our characters. Yeah, Finster, I ironically did like a test combat before we started. So in terms of like gameplay, it would have been we pick from the map, then go to that section of town. So that's how it should have played. So I did kind of go out of order there. So that was, but what you're suggesting is exactly what should have happened. All right, but we are going to pick new players. So just going through the motions here, I would start up the giveaway. And this one will do keyword capital D20. So you'll see it up on screen. It's overlaid next to me. And I say me, but it's just this little monster next to me. This little shy guy.
D20.
So by typing in D20, this can be on YouTube or Twitch, you'll be entered into the raffle to play.
D20.
So I'll go ahead and pick the players. So Garnikin, if you win, I would probably move you to Sorcerer. I still haven't decided how to handle that, because it is your custom character. Right now we don't have that many people. But we'll see if you win. How about that? So Tom, you're now player 2. I'm player 3. I'll redo that one. Player 1 is Finster. And then player 3 is Garnikin. So in this specific case scenario, Garnikin is now the fighter, but Garnikin's literal character, like they went through the process of supporting me, so they got a custom character. So I'm curious of what your all opinion is on that. So just to summarize, if you tip my stream, I will make you a custom portrait using AI generation software. So like a literal custom character for you to play whenever you visit. So how should I go about assigning you that character when it's your turn to play? And at first thought, it's player 1 is the Sorcerer, which is Garnikin's custom character. So that would entail, like, if Garnikin ever wins the raffle, they would automatically be player 1. So I would just kind of like rearrange everything, which would take just a moment, but... So here, let me just go through that motion because this is what makes sense to me. So ideally, Finster Yoshi, because Garnikin's character is player 1, you would be player 3 instead. Like, you're still getting to play, but their character was player 1. Like, that makes sense, right? And all it takes is this command from a moderator for me to do. And we can see the names are reflected on screen. So that's the idea. But the roguelike continues. You all begin to wander through the swamps, and you feel the eerie sense that you're being watched. What do? I'll allow each of you to make a roll. So next message you type will roll the dice.
D6.
I try to listen for close by noises.
The natural one, you hear nothing. You just hear the sound of the forest, the jungle, and it's just incredibly small feeling overwhelms you, where it feels as though you are just underwater. Garnikin just rolls dice. Tom rolls dice. So if you guys had specific things to, proclaim your character doing, that would be the best opportunity. And so as you all just kind of make your way through this dark, dense jungle, you overhear the scrambling sound of goblins. One approaches Tom Voxel, and it outstretches your hand. What do you do?
I see. It sounds like juggle here. Just as I assumed.
The three goblins appear menacingly to just pop out of just trees, rocks, bushes. They just appear to have their weapons drawn, but this first goblin outstretches its hand to you, Tom. Just as I assumed. What's up, Motaz? So in theory, now that the monsters have appeared, you all have this opportunity for diplomacy. But whether or not it goes well is up to you all. And your rolls. And so Garnikin was just passing through. I'll do a quick roll for Garnikin. Okay.
Hello. We are just traveling through.
So, as you just proclaim that you're traveling through, and you just kind of approach this goblin, you see this one also reach its hand up. Little both, Motaz. Oh, so Tom greets them politely. This jungle sounds like jungle. And so you watch as the goblin kind of points at your coin pouch. Jingle, jingle! And then outstretches his hand again. So this is a unique opportunity to either just bypass combat by giving him an X amount of gold, your choice, or you can pull out your weapon and just attack him while he thinks he has the upper hand. I'm trying to think of how to roleplay these scenes a little bit more efficiently.
Tradey.
Tradey. Of course, the objective here is to make it more engaging, more fun, not so cookie cutter.
Give 1 gold coin to the goblin and ask for something in return.
Okay. So you reach into your coin pouch, you pull out 1 gold coin, and you kind of like dangle it.
You want to give me
above
coins?
This goblin.
And will all your coins if you don't let us pass.
Wait, Finster, is your character saying that, or are you impersonating the goblin? P.S. If you type exclamation point in front of your phrase, it will be out of character. I should make a pop-up for that. I think that's a good pop-up. And so, Tom, as you dangle this coin above him, you see him kind of like furrow his brow at it, and he nods his head. He pulls into his own pocket and pulls out a dead rat. Trade! Jingle, jingle! Trade! Motaz is new here. He's just keeping a watch on things. How much do you have in your wallet? So,
One
you
coin
look
for
down at
one
the bottom-
rat seems fair to me.
on the bottom of our screen is our gold.
Trade for the dead rat. Reanimate dead.
Okay, so our druid decides to invigorate the rat as it's handed to him. So you do lose 1 gold coin, so I'll subtract that from our gold source. So you can see I just put it down to 16. And this is the party's gold. You all also have 1 potion of healing. And as he takes the gold and he just kind of like puts it in what appears to be a small homemade pouch for holding coins, you can see there's tons of bone, just like shiny rocks. And now this gold coin is placed securely within all of this literally junk and trinkets. And so he hands this rat to you very delicately by the tail. You can see it was partially skinned and frayed, a couple bite marks in it. He hands it to the druid, and the druid casts a small incantation, and you see all of the wounds begin to be like patched up with what appears to be bark skin, and the rat suddenly comes back alive. Our druid, you have gained a familiar, so you have a small pet for the foreseeable future. And the goblins let you pass. So that is a successful encounter. So you all would still gain an upgrade. And then we're going to go through the motions. Again, these are placeholders. So you can vote. Doesn't matter right now. Again, this is kind of like the process of upgrading your characters. In theory, you know, the spellcasters have less to do. The martial classes have the same amount as in normal Dungeons and Dragons. For more experienced players who know the spell lists of characters, I do allow them to play any spells that they like from their memory. So Garnican has been taking advantage of that. But basically all these upgrades are essentially building your character from scratch, from a more kind of like baseline version of your character. So Finster Yoshi, I imagine you've probably played Dungeons & Dragons before? And if 2 players do say contradicting actions, Finster Yoshi, let's play through that, actually. I think that's a good test. So this is a mechanic that I was hoping to use, and I think this is a great reason to use this. It's called epic rolls. So let's say that our druid and fighter have different opinions on how to approach these goblins. So let's say the fighter wants to fight, like literally pulls out a greatsword, and then the druid, on the other hand, wants to reason with them, persuasion. So you all would have a contested roll. Now, I think charisma is probably the best suited stat for this. So we would do an epic roll here. Whoops, I still have the those on screen. So you didn't get to see the cool graphic. Damn it! Oh my god, I'm so mad! The cool graphic though. Alright, so in this specific case, Tom and Finster will state their case of, you know, what to do with these goblins, and basically the next thing they type is going to roll the dice. And ideally, I would be using this time to prep. So, like, while they're typing up their stuff. But for example's sake, I'll probably just speed through this. The only problem here is that it completely takes up my screen, so it's waiting for you for you all. So Finster rolls a 10.
I want the coins from these goblins. What will they get with it in the jungle anyways?
And then for Tom's sake, I know Tom's probably dealing with some lag.
These goblins are really nice people. We should be friends with them and set camp here to have dinner with them. No
Nice.
need to fight them.
Well, that's very sweet. So now the fighter is swayed by the druid's words, or at least the rest of the party, aka our sorcerer, has agreed with the druid. You're outvoted. And so the goblins, anxious for whatever you all can provide, honestly, they
Turns
have
toward
their...
the fighter, and using my intimidation skill, I ask, will you please behave yourself? You cannot call this self-defense, you know.
Ooh, okay. And so in hindsight, I think I should have all three of you roll. I guess that would make more sense. But having moments like those, it's important to like scatter those into, you know, our gameplay. But making them feel natural is also important. So I think that was a good example of like when to use it. No, it's good, Garnican. I think you get more out of it the more you roleplay. It's as simple as that. You get more enjoyment. But that was a successful encounter. We consult the map. Okay, so we can go to the topmost option, which is a chest. We can head back into town, which we might be able to talk to a vendor or a merchant. Or we can go dungeon diving, which does mean more experience points. So it's always important to mention that. Combat results in experience points. I would say the diplomacy is also experience points. Maybe I'll put like a some sort of like key up here. Okay, why is this? You get the idea. But like the key would say like experience from the town, or no, experience would be the dungeons, the tree, which is like going through wilderness, whereas a relic would be in the chest. Yeah, Finster, as soon as I start talking about it, I get sidetracked. Like, I think I just need to make a button or something. Because right now it's a command. Okay, so more combat would be number 3. Antonio also votes for number 3 over on YouTube. Okay, so at this point we would also do another raffle. New keyword is going to be on the bottom right. Oh, Dorkbot does state that, doesn't he? Okay, thank you for that, Garnican. I can fix that now while we're entering into the raffle.
halfd0rk.com.
No, Garnican, I appreciate the shout out.
Dungeon.
I've been working on that website, and so it's taken a backseat as I'm still setting things up on the stream, but I'm starting to get notifications from interacting with it. Okay, I need to make a comment for that. I'm gonna just do a note. Voting poll. Cool.
Sonic
All right, so
Dungeon.
We'll pick our players. So player 1, Antonio. Player 2, Garnikin. And player 3, that other guy.
Kyler Gray.
Finster. Wait. I think it's the same group of players, which is great. I will also give Antonio player 2. So you might think, why? Well, it's ironic, but Antonio prefers druids, and Garnikin has a custom sorcerer in player 1. So I think it's a win-win by swapping these two. So if Antonio, if you type something, it should be player 2 now. It also looks like my YouTube chat is not picking up that you won.
Hello, everyone.
Ah, perfect. Thank you, Antonio. But it did not... Oh, there it goes. It was delayed. Okay, that's so weird. Very well. So now we head into the dungeon. Dungeon. I'm gonna see how fast it takes to randomly generate one. So, okay, we're gonna test. High resolution, theme, original, max size. Keep it small. Generate. Okay. It's building the scene. So these are the types of things that I should be doing as we're voting on polls, especially. Like, that downtime is very essential to keeping the flow going. And I'll also have, like, prepared stuff. But this is a good test to see, like, how fast I can generate something on the fly. Okay, so our players enter. It's dark dungeon here. The druid providing ample light. Our fighter and our sorcerer. So this is another aspect of Dungeons & Dragons that I understand is very important. Welcome in, Box Tank. If you are playing Dungeons & Dragons, you need to be exploring. Like, there's supposed to be exploration. So I would like for you all to, I don't know, just roll. We'll see how well you explore. Like, if you dodge traps. Oh.
Cast create bonfire a few meters in front of us.
Oh, okay. So with create bonfire, it's essentially a giant spring of flame that erupts in an area.
I will attempt to search for traps.
Ooh. Rolling a 3 for the search for traps. You see the druid just kind of tap her staff along the wall. But you do notice a chest, Madam Druid. Well, it's not giving you vision of this character. Wonder why. That's okay.
I tap my weapon in front of me on the ground while I walk forward.
When Finster taps his weapon all along the edges of the ground. Let's see. With an 11, you feel some of the tiles just kind of pry up from the ground. Although nothing dangerous, you do notice that these have been trampled on once before. And there are spots of dried blood, and you would gauge just from your own experience, maybe a week or two
Druid,
old.
if you spot something you want torched from distance, just say the word.
And yeah, Garnican, it's worth mentioning that create bonfire is basically like a small explosion of flame. So it doesn't actually make like a campfire, which I think is what you were imagining. The druid, on the other hand, she has a spell called Produce Flame, which is kind of like a circling fireball in her hand.
Very well.
So you all notice this chest. Who wants to open it? You don't have a rogue, but you can try and fiddle with it.
Hey, sorcerer, shoot the chest in case it's a trap or mimic.
Ooh, mage hand. Okay, I'll allow it. There is a cap to how many extra cantrips you know.
Opens chest with mage hand from safe distance.
And thank you, Suhaib. So this is important to note with spellcasters. There is a cap in Dungeons & Dragons of how many spells you know. The way I've structured things is that our player 1, for example, has 2 cantrips and 2 spells at level 1. So level 2, exactly,
For
Gargan,
cantrips
you would have
total,
4
right?
cantrips. Yeah, and so generally you would also have 2 more spells. Again, I'm still fleshing these mechanics out. And then that entails that those 2 cantrips that you suggested in the last 2 parts of our dungeon run, those are now your max 4 cantrips. Like, that makes sense, right? And then for first level spells, we do the same ruling of, okay, those are your extra spells that are part of your collection. And so our sorcerer casts Mage Hand. And you see this hand appear and grab the chest. You see the illusion of it just kind of like try to open the chest itself. And upon doing so, the chest begins to roll, and it immediately snaps at the hand. It was a mimic. And it immediately begins to just lunge forward. However, it does not get a surprise round. But we'll go ahead and start combat. And just to keep things flowing, I'll roll initiative for everyone. And so, beginning combat,
You are
our sorcerer,
right.
you're the first to
Mimic.
act.
Oh, of course.
Of course. It's always a mimic.
It's always a mimic.
So our sorcerer, you are level 2, which is worth noting, but as for the spells you have, use the ones you have on screen, or if you are aware of other spells you'd like to cast, feel free. Improv is always welcome. But sorcerer, it is your turn. Sargraz, I recall you saying. Infestation.
Casts infestation.
So Sargraz waves his hand, and you watch as beetles begin to fly towards the creature, this mimic, and begins to gnaw away at the flesh of this mimic. You watch as the wood doesn't splinter so much as begin to tweak and shatter under the bites. So it did save on its Constitution saving throw, so it's half damage. Alright, we come down to the druid. The sorcerer takes a step back. So Druid, I would put your information on screen. So here's some of the stuff you can do. And that's Antonio, who's playing with us over on YouTube.
Can I throw a produced flame at the mimic?
Yes, you can. So the small bolts of fire that you're just kind of like slowly churning in your hand to provide light for you and your allies, you immediately let it loose in the direction of the mimic, and then you summon another one to keep the light. So 19 to hit for 3 points of fire damage. And you have another one already churning in your hand. Alright, Fighter, it's now your turn. So one thing I want to incorporate with the Fighter is the very first person that gets to play will choose the weapon. So for example, a fighter has a whole arsenal. Like they could have a great sword, they could have a battle axe, they could have 2 short swords. So by giving that kind of player customization for a fighter, it makes them a little bit more interesting. And yeah, Finster 2 fixed cantrips, love that. That's what I've been trying to do. And then, yeah, upgrades have been an important part of the cantrip mechanic that I'm thinking about. So for example, if a wizard starts learning necromancy, that changes their 2 default cantrips to Toll the Dead and Chill Touch. And choosing another cantrip's an interesting idea. But see, I think the problem stems from people not knowing how to play. So it's like, if I'm now playing a wizard and I don't know what the cantrip choices are, that's going to be overwhelming. And that's just my opinion, because obviously people who are experienced aren't going to have that problem. But thinking about first player experience and the user experience overall is my goal right now. And yeah, one thing that I want to build out is the website a little bit. So if anybody wants to poke around the website, I would greatly appreciate any feedback. But that is halfdork.com. Wizard, I've started building the spell list.
Can I choose 2 light swords and act with both, as both are light weapons?
Yes, you may, Finster. And I would even give you the fighting style. That is not too much work. In fact, that's
Or is that
kind of
too much
something
work for you?
I want to build, is having that flexibility, especially with Fighter. Because you can see just from me flashing Player 1's abilities on screen, like how much more Player 1 option-wise has. So that's one of the things I want to provide for the fighters. But yeah, I like the idea. I'll go ahead and write that in my notes because I think that's a great example. So maybe the fighter, when we first choose them, like the very first person gets to pick, like, oh, this is their fighting style. And so we'll have the whole fighting style list, which I'll go ahead and put up on screen so you guys know what it looks like. So I shouldn't be advocating this website too much, but this is my go-to website for D&D stuff. It's called 5e.tools. I'll post it to YouTube as well for those interested. It is essentially a website that has copy-pasted most Dungeons & Dragons material. I'll just say that. Highly recommend it. So fighting styles. This is an idea of what fighters can be diversified. So like some fighters are good at archery. Then there's like blind fighting. So it's like you're like Batman, like you can feel invisible creatures within your range. You can be more defensive. Wearing armor gives you a +1 to bonus. Right now, all of my fighters gain +2 damage, which is great. But I think customizing it is important. So like great weapon fighting. Interception, like these are all the options that fighters have to kind of like create a more customized version. And so what Finster is suggesting is two-weapon fighting, where they'll deal more damage, or I should say their offhand weapon deals as much damage as their main hand weapon. But that's just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking. Alright, moving on. So our fighter rushes into battle, pulling out their greatsword. Thank you, Go West. Same to you. Slice. 13 points of damage. That mimic is cut in half. And combat has ended.
Good work.
Good work. It was a baby mimic. It's funny you say that.
Was
I'll
that
just
a
show
baby
you
mimic?
the character sheet real quick. This is my level 1 version of a mimic. Literally called a baby mimic. I've been using them for testing. Yeah, no worries, Suhaib. If you'd like to play, we're about to do probably one more combat. Alright, so you all would have picked
Well, now
your
I feel
upgrade. Why? It's a mimic. He tried to eat you. He's literally a living trap. Alright, so now we would consult the map once again. And so we don't even have more than one choice. So we're heading back into another dungeon. So we could say that we just continue through this one. And I would reset the entries.
You didn't have a chance to eat us so far.
Okay, and then the new keyword is on screen.
Mimic.
Mimic.
Mimped.
Oh, he spelled mimic wrong. Try again.
Mimic.
Mimic.
Alright, I'm gonna give you guys a real challenge now. So whoever plays, good luck. So I think it's generally the same 3 people. Unless Suhaib wants to get in. Antonio, would you like to play again? It looks like YouTube's having some problems. Like, it's very slow. And I couldn't really tell you why.
Sure.
Alright, well, Suhaib did not punch in to the raffle. So I think he is currently occupied, so we'll continue.
I don't mind.
Oh, he did say. That's right. I think Antonio was first, so maybe I'm just delirious. That's a given. And so it's at this point you all notice. Doof. 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 A large bestial figure made only of the bones of his enemies. A minotaur skeleton turns its large, callous head in your direction. And where you would normally hear breathing, you just hear
Incoming.
the rustling of bones and it just starts rubbing its hooves into the ground, kind of like rearing back for a charge. All right, I'm gonna roll for initiative. A Minotaur skeleton acts first in the turn order. Rolled a natural 20 on his... He's going to charge the fighter. Oh my god. Oh, rolling a 21 strength throw. The fighter maintains his ground. The Minotaur charges forward. Still suffering 3 points of damage as it tries to gore you with its horns. And as it pushes forward with its charge ability. I think that was an action. I'm just double checking to see if I get another attack here. Oh, that's part of his attack. So in his movement, he charges you, but you are able to maintain your ground and you are not knocked prone. So he'll come back down with the great axe, but misses. Rolls a 10. So as the large axe falls vertically, the fighter just sidesteps it, pulling out his own greatsword. We come to the sorcerer's turn. So Garnikin, Sagraz, what would you like to do? So if you would like custom spells, like first level spells, I can send you the full list. But Chaos Bolt is a really good one.
Cast Create Bonfire on the body of the beast.
Excellent choice. So I will reiterate that the once per combat spells are worth using, like, because most combats are supposed to be fast. And at this point, you probably have 3, maybe 4 spells. So using the cantrips, especially Create Bonfire, is useful in area of effect situations. So if there's more than one enemy next to each other, probably the best spell. However, in this particular case, it's one big enemy. But using Cast Bonfire, we can see what it looks like. Or Create Bonfire, I should say. The giant flame erupts on top of the Minotaur. And so that's 6 points of damage. As the Minotaur begins to just kind of like revel in the fire, you see its menacing eye sockets now just kind of like illuminated by the flames. Fighter, it comes to you. Oh, that's right, Tom. I forgot about the rat. See, it's kind of hard to track that sort of thing. Like, how do I track that you now have a pet rat? Oh yeah, Finster. That's for character creation. But I can give you 2 short swords. I actually already have a short sword and an offhand short sword already made. But if you're using the fighting style, dual, like 2 weapon, like they'll both deal full damage. So Finster, I imagine you're going to be using a 2-pronged attack. So for those who have never used 2-weapon fighting before, your main action is going to be the first short sword slash. Your bonus action uses the offhand sword attack. Because this is a roguelike, I am playing with the idea that all bonus actions are free. So let's say, for example, you wanted to do both of your short swords and heal with your second wind, that is okay. Like, I would allow that. Usually, in normal Dungeons & Dragons, you would have to do a choice of of second wind or short sword offhand attack. That's how normal Dungeons & Dragons would work. But we're doing like a roguelike, so I'm trying to make it simplified. So all bonus actions are essentially free. So Finster pulls out their short swords with deft accuracy. Ooh, the first strike misses. And dancing around it, goes for another. Ooh, that's another miss. Okay, we come now to Antonio. You see the fighter struggling to land blows against this Minotaur, unable to find a weak point in its armor. What would you like to do?
Can I Thorn whip the weapon out of its hands?
Ooh, I like that. If you're trying to disarm him, I would say it's a roll at disadvantage, but you are very wise and discerning, so you have a good shot. So we'll see how it plays out. So rolling at disadvantage here. This is a good test for me. Let's see if it rolls. Oh, first one would have hit. It did not roll at disadvantage though. Try it again. Oh. Oh, unfortunate. So I'll let the damage from the first one remain. So you lash, and it just kind of holds on to the axe as your thorn whip wraps around, and you try to pull with all your might, but as accurate as you were, you didn't have the strength. It was a good attempt, though. So the Minotaur is going to rear back its head and then try and headbutt and gore the fighter into the ground. Oh, that's a natural 20. The fighter has gone down. Look, I even got blood effects. As the sorcerer
Any chance you will
begins
accept that I
speaking to
have the
God,
sorcerer's origin, divine magic? That way I have access to the cleric's spell Spare the Dying. I know it cannot be changed later.
so in a futile dialogue with God, the sorcerer begs that his soul becomes divine in nature. Yeah, I'll allow it, sure. That's also something I want to build for the subclass choices. Right now it's like 3 choices, but ideally I would like to do, you know, all of the main choices per class, which is like 8 classes per, or 8 subclasses per class. Heidi, what's up? Welcome in. So, Sorcerer, what would you like to do? Ooh, Tom, that is good feedback. Thank you. I'm going to copy-paste that. Much appreciated. Thank you. Save the fighter from dying. So, it's worth mentioning, Garnikin, that it doesn't heal them. It would stabilize them.
Save the fighter from dying.
So this is me being like a metagamer, because I know you're somewhat new to D&D. It's not going to be useful mid-combat. Mid-combat, you would probably want to use the Potion of Healing. That would probably be the best use of your spells. I don't know if Divine Soul give you a literal healing spell, But Spare the Dying basically prevents them from like losing their life from death saving throws. It's also useful for NPC encounters. It's a cantrip, so it doesn't really help too much in combat. But in this specific situation, because we're testing things, I'll roll the dice here.
If I'm cut aligned, I think I have 1 cast of Cure Wounds. But let's use a healing potion then.
Okay, so we'll use the 1 healing potion in your party's inventory. So we'll remove that from the bottom of the screen. And so our healing potion is poured down the gullet of our fighter. And they restore 6 points of healing. Or hit points, I should say. The fighter is back up on their feet. They spit out blood. Taking a step back, it's now the fighter's turn. So, Finster might not be here. So Finster, if you are here, let us know what your character would do. Otherwise, I'll pass it along to another player.
Thanks, guys. I owe you one.
As the fighter lets out a brief moment of thanks, as the not-so-injured skeleton Minotaur leers down upon you. This might be too difficult of a fight, but we'll see.
Attack again and use second wind for heal.
Very good. So using your short swords now. Ooh, you carve into the Minotaur. 9 points of damage. With your offhand attack, using your dual wield fighting style, another hit, 7 points of damage. And then you take a deep breath and restore.
Destroy it first. Thanks us later, please.
And you restore a few points. 9, in fact. You're back to full. Which, you guys are level 2 and I haven't given you your level up health pool. So for the sake of it, I'm just going to give you guys
fighter.
An extra boost of health. That's on me. That's on me. Alright, we come back to our druid now. What would you like to do? So fighter, you have 20 hit points. Druid, you have 16. Okay, it was just the fighter that I didn't give the...
Can I send in the rat as a bonus action?
Yes, it is a familiar. So it was a creature that you restored through your adventure. So yes, you may send in the rat. What would you like the rat to do? This rat might be too large. Do I have a small rat? Tell us what your rat gets to do.
I would like the rat to distract the Minotaur. Maybe bite it a little.
Very good. And then you still have your action if there's something your
Hey,
druid
do you
would
think
like
your
to
fire
do.
could burn the handle of that axe?
That's an interesting thought. Okay, so here's the rat down on the ground. You'll scurry up the Minotaur, and we're gonna look for a high roll here. Just trying to distract it. We'll do a,
I will burn the handle of the axe.
when going for an attempt to burn the handle, another good distraction technique, you let loose a produce flame attack. Ooh, but unfortunately, it's unable to distract the Minotaur enough to drop the axe. However, it does spend a moment or two swatting at the rat. So, the Minotaur will attack the fighter with disadvantage. It'll throw down its great axe. Even with disadvantage, still hits for 19 points of damage. The fighter still remains standing. Sorcerer comes to you. Oh, so Garnikin places a Cure Wounds onto the fighter using his Divine
Cure
Soul.
wounds.
Okay. I'll allow it. So placing a hand on his back. You restore 3 hit points, plus your charisma, so an additional 3. So 6 total hit points. And you step back around the corner. Alright, fighter, comes to you. You've got the Minotaur to about bloodied, which in D&D terms is half health.
I will keep attacking as revenge.
Okay. Pressing the attack, our fighter lunges with both short swords. It does hit 9 points of damage. Second strike. Oh, misses. Rolling an 8. As the Minotaur deflects it with its axe. It kind of rears its head back in a way that a normal Minotaur might be roaring, but as this skeletal monstrosity has no vocal box, no lungs, nothing to create noise, you just see it kind of cackling. And it just holds its great axe back in an attempt to slash downward once more. Druid, it's your turn.
If something happens, I trust my companions to help me survive.
So Antonio, I know you're playing your druid as you see fit. Level 2, you do have more spells. You can also wild form. What you see on screen is just placeholders. So use your imagination. I can improvise with you. Otherwise, the spells you see on screen are good choices too.
Can I wild shape into a bear?
Yes, you can. So at level 2, you do have your wild shape ability. Now, in terms of mechanics, Moon Druid can wild shape and then attack. If you would like to wild shape, I'll just allow it to say you're a Moon Druid. because you haven't done anything else. So, using wild shape, you will shapeshift into a big old bear. So what would bear druid like to do? Black bear, brown bear. Is one stronger than the other? Looks like it's gonna be brown bear. Black bears are weaker. Is it gonna update the picture? Alright, I'll change the picture. But your bear has a couple of attacks. Mainly it's just slash and bite. That's pretty much what bears do. That's what they're good at. And so
Would the bear be big and strong enough to attack the Minotaur?
Yeah, right now the bear is holding its ground against the Minotaur. Just kind of, you watch as
I
this.
will bite into the handle of the axe.
Oh, okay. If you're going for a disarming attack, it'll be a disadvantage.
I
but
mean
I
grapple.
think it's a good payoff. And there is potential, Finster. You would have to convince the druid to do so. As you watch this frail green-haired druid morph into this vicious brown bear, it lunges forward, trying to take the axe with its big toothy maw. It is rolling at disadvantage because we're attempting to disarm here. And even at disadvantage, rolling a natural 19, you tear that great axe from its claws. So at the start of its turn, it's going to try and pull the great axe back. But right now, it is contested. Wow, that is a lot of damage from our big bear here. It is the turn of the Minotaur, though. First thing is he's going to try and pull it out. Ooh, that's a 16 against our druid, who rolls a 9. So the Minotaur does get their great axe back. And he'll go back with the great axe slash into the druid this time for 11 points of damage. Okay, we come down to the sorcerer. So Sargraz dips his head back into the hallway, now seeing the druid shapeshift into a giant bear. Spell suggestions. Chaos Bolt
bear noises asterisk.
is my favorite. Witch Bolt is lightning. Both of those are probably your highest damage. So Chaos Bolt and Witch Bolt are the highest damage that I can recall, but here I'm also looking at the spell list.
Cast Chaos Bolt.
Okay, Chaos Bolt. So you watch as Sargraz begins to slap his hands together, and pulling them apart, you see lightning, you see fire, you see ice, you see all of these things kind of like congealing into one solid mass as he immediately pushes that energy out and towards the skeleton. It begins to take form, and choosing an element, you have two choices for your Chaos Bolt. Oh, but the attack misses! You watch as it flies through, as it turns into a lightning bolt. It flies through its ribcage. Unfortunately, the attack roll missed. Good try, though. Fighter, it's your turn. Something new.
Something new. I attack again, trying not to hurt the bear.
So it is worth noting that you are a samurai. I haven't quite added all the features, but samurais get a special advantage. Here, we can even, I'll copy paste it. So we'll use your level 2 ability. You also have action surge. Like, fighters get a really good level 2. So I've kind of been rigging this combat in my favor. So just to give you an idea, yes, I'm copy pasting a lot. Oh wait, you're not a samurai yet. That's level 3. Okay. Well, you do have the action surge, so we'll start with that. We'll start with the short swords attack. First strike hits. As you nick
Then action
the
surge.
skeletal minotaur, you just chop off bits of its bone. You aim for the fingers as it grabs that great axe once more. Second strike misses, but then you use action surge, and taking a deep breath, you go into another flurry of its strikes. And the third one was enough to finish it. Combat is over. Bum, 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 bum. And so then I would give you guys a moment to look at these, just read them before I bring up the poll. I might mention something like, oh, the fighter has this option. That's actually one of the better ones. I would vote for that. But your druid could use an upgrade.
Victorious bear noises asterisk.
Here, I'll try for you. Is that close enough? I was like Chewbacca having a heart attack. Alright, then we would vote. I hide those options. Then, because this was your third combat, you all would level up. So just to go through that motion, this is what it feels like. So the sorcerer, level 1, or player 1, getting 3 options, or if they don't have options, like for example, if it's just like a casual level up, you know, nothing happens. And then we go down the list. Player 2. Oh, Garnica, that's a good idea. Okay, I really like that idea. Let's see. I'll write that down. So one thing I noticed was for druids, having the form ready would be helpful. Druid form's ready. Have way to change voice. So let me just see if I have a Chewbacca voice, because I thought we did. So we go to Druid, and then looking for Chewbacca, we could add it, and then sadly I can't hide it. But right now, if our Druid tries to say anything, so Antonio, could you give us just anything, just type anything, Antonio, and that'll make Chewbacca noises. Garnica, that's brilliant. I didn't even think of that. Okay, and then lastly, player 3. Oh, that's great. Alright, and so fighter at level 3, you would pick your subclasses. So that tells me that I need to make level ups. And basically it's like I'll pick between 2 different level up sequences. So as you can see here, there's 3 choices on screen. If it's just a generic level up, where you automatically get action surge as a fighter, for example, like there's not going to be this polling section where we have these things up on screen. So I'm going to make a sequence using these assets I've already made, so it doesn't take as long as making it the first time. But level up sequence for no voting. So that requires a little bit of game knowledge from me. But yeah, that was our third encounter. Generally speaking, you all would then go on to fight the boss. Okay, and so then we would consult the map. We'd be resting, so it'd be a long rest. That just restores you all back to full. Any potential spells, like you're already doing on a once per combat basis. So it's basically just a full restore, is the campfire. And then, yeah, we'd go straight into the final combat for these characters. And being level 3 is actually huge. Being level 3 is probably such a big advantage over being level 2, which is, it's kind of hard to not be level 2 going into this. But just as an example, like you guys were finished your first combat, then you did these 2 combats, and then you actually did a third extra combat. So you should have been level 3 already. I'm still debating on how to handle experience, but that's the idea. It's like milestone. So if you do 1 combat, level 2. 2 combats, you're level 3. And then level 3 would require 3 combats to become level 4. But see, you probably wouldn't be level 3 if you took an alternate path here. So like you were guaranteed level 3 by taking this path. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it there. I had a great time playing with you all. I think this is a good stopping point. I got plenty to do, plenty to work on. So Abe, thank you for your help as well. And yeah, Sandbox does have a Twitch account. Very fun. Thank you, Giant Bear. I need to change that back before I forget. Maybe there's an easy way to do that. Okay, well, if you guys are interested in the Sandbox, that is, I'm not going to raid them, simply because it's a
It was
type of
nice
content.
fighting alongside you guys.
Well, actually, can I raid them? I don't even know if I can raid as a not affiliate. And Finster Yoshi, thank you for helping us out. It was good testing. I believe we're gonna really nail this format down. It's like roguelike.
It was
D&D.
fun, and we survived.
Let's see if I can raid. What is it? The Sandbox game? Finster with the follow too. Thank you, my friend. Invalid username. So if you guys want to stick around for the raid, this is the Sandbox game. Great group of people. They are a metaverse on the Web3 blockchain. I used to make games with them. If you're interested in making your own games, very user-friendly experience. Highly recommend it. But yes, thank you again, everybody, for watching, for helping out. Probably gonna pick this back up. If not this weekend, then during the next week. I think I'll take this weekend to really flesh things out, build the characters, the roster a little bit more. But this was a really essential, like, learning for me to run through it. So I don't know. I probably will not stream this weekend, though. I think I'll just say that. And then Monday, I'll take it serious again. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Appreciate all the help. Appreciate the feedback. See ya.